All right. So you want to build this handsome young man who is a masochist and is named Baldy, huh? So let's cheer for this bald young man. With humor and charm, I'm his biggest fan. His baldness brought glee and give us a joyous sight to see. I think this one is the least cringe I have ever made. So, who is the Blade? According to official wiki, Blade is a man who abandoned his body to become, the Blade. He is also a member of Stellaron Hunters. If you don't know who are Stellaron Hunters, what are you doing if you don't know who they are? Blade is now playable character in version 1.2. He comes with Wind Element and Destruction Path. He is a DPS character who scales off of his HP for damage. Moving on to the abilities. Skill point generator, just a formality for every character. But hey, keep watching. Skill, masochism mode.
Blade gives his enemy a glare, piercing right through their souls. As he awakens his inner masochist, tightly grips on his blade and enters the masochism mode.
Long story short, Blade consumes 30% of his current HP and enters Enhanced State aka Masochism mode. His basic attack, Shard Sword, is turned into Forest of Swords. Or in simple words, basic attacks becomes enhanced for 3 turns. Actually, your basic attack is not just a skill point generator anymore, and now deals some really good damage. Notice that after using his skill, you can still continue your turn. While Blade is in masochism phase, you cannot use your skill again. Now every time you do an enhanced basic attack in your masochism mode, it's gonna cost you some HP. And you will attack single enemy for huge damage and enemies on left and right for small damage. Ultimate, HP Reset. Upon using Ultimate, Blade does this very eye-pleasing animation and attacks a single target for huge damage and enemies adjacent to it for small damage. While that happens, Blade's HP is set to 50% of his max HP. What that means? Let's say, if Blade has 100 max HP, we know that the half of 100 is 50. So whenever Blade uses his ultimate, his current HP will be set to 50, which is actually 50% of his max HP. It does not matter whether Blade had full HP or was just dying at 1 GP before using ultimate. Once you activate Blade's ultimate, Blade's HP will be set to 50% of his max HP. Talent, Masochist's Gift. One of the strongest point of Blade. Whenever Blade gets his HP lowered, he gains 1 charge of masochism. He can gain a total of 5 charges. Once he gained the maximum number of charges, all the charges are consumed and he immediately does a follow-up attack and deals wind damage to all the enemies on the field. Note that ultimate and enhanced basic attack hits only 3 enemies, and the follow-up attack hits all enemies on field. Technique. Well, Blade's technique is just an AoE swing. When he enters battle through his technique, he lowers his HP at start of battle, deals some damage to enemies, and gain 1 charge of masochism. Trace priority. You should level up all of his skills, but if you want, the priority order is basic attack to talent to ultimate to skill. You will be using basic attack the most. About the follow-up attack, it's situational. If there are many enemies, the more Blades get hit and get his HP lowered, faster he will gain charges and thus more follow-up attacks. If single enemy battle, follow-up attacks may be less. Ultimate reset Blade's HP to 50% of his max HP and deals damage to single enemy and the enemies adjacent to it. Skill for most part converts the basic attack to enhanced basic attack. At the same time also gives some damage bonus. Bonus traces. Bonus trace number 1. When Blade's current HP is 50% or lower than 50% of max HP, the incoming healing increases. Bonus trace number 2. When Blade's enhanced basic attack hits enemies who have their weakness broken, Blade recovers 5% of his max HP plus 100 extra HP. Bonus trace number 3. Blade's follow-up attack does 20% more damage. You should level up all traces, but you can leave effect resistance.
I live. Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Moving on to the Eidolons. Number 1. Short answer, more damage on ultimate. Now some people ask if E1 Blade is worth it or not. It depends on you if you want more damage on Blade's ultimate or not. Number 2. When Blade is in masochism mode, his crit rate increased by 15%. Number 3. The normal stuff. Number 4. HP buff. When you break a limb. When Blade's HP drops to 50% or lower than 50%, the max HP increases by 20%, and it can stack a total of 2 times. Number 5. More normal stuff. Number 6. Alright, this one is cool. Blade now just needs to get 4 charges of masochism to do follow-up attack, and the follow-up attack damage is now increased by 50% of his max HP. That's definitely going to hit a lot harder. Moving on to the light cones. Blade really doesn't have many options on light cones. Most of the destruction light cones provide ATK buff, but Blade scales off of his HP. First option, 5-star. Blade's best light cone is, of course, his signature light cone, the unreachable side, which increases his crit rate and max HP. Along with increase in crit rate and max HP, Blade's damage is also increased when he gets hit or consumes his own HP. Second option, 4-star. While the other light cones provide ATK buff, a secret vow provides 20% universal damage increase and another 20% if the enemy's current HP percentage is equal to or higher than the wearer HP percentage. Third option, 3-star. If you are out of other options, consider using either the 1, Mutual Demise, increase crit rate by 12% when current HP is lower than 80%. Remember that if you have Lucia in your team, he will auto-heal Blade if Blade's HP gets too low. 2. Shattered Home deals more damage to enemies with current HP higher than half of their max HP. 3. Collapsing. Sky. Increase basic ATK and skill damage by 20%. Use this light cone if you want Lucia in your team and don't have any other option. I won't recommend any other destruction light cone, but if you really don't have any of these, use the any one you have available.
Of 5 people, 3 must pay a price. These words are carved into my every wound.
You are so done, Dan Heng. Relics set. Let's keep it simple. Best set for Blade is the new one, Longevous Disciple. 2-piece increases max HP, while 4-piece increases crit rate for 2 turns when the HP gets lowered. This 4-piece effect stacks 2 times. Don't even consider using other ones if you have this set, or just go and farm this, especially for Blade. For Planar ornaments, we have 2 strong choices. 1. Relics Arena, 2-piece, increases wearer's crit rate. When current crit rate reaches 70% or higher, basic ATK and skill damage is increased. 2. Inert Salsado, 2-piece, increase wearer's crit rate, same as previous set. When current crit rate reaches 50% or higher, ultimate and follow-up attack damage is increased. Option 1 is useful for single enemy, so you can keep spamming basic ATK in masochism mode. Option 2 is useful if you have many enemies on field, so you can do more follow-up attacks. Main stats. For body, crit damage. You get enough crit rate from traces, 4-piece relic and 2-piece planar ornament set. For feet, speed, if you don't want your blade to be a turtle. Or HP percent, more damage. Planar sphere, wind damage boost link rope, HP percent. No energy recharge. Once you play with Blade, you will soon realize most of his damage comes from basic ATK and follow-up attack, not ultimate. Blade gets his ultimate up fairly quickly. Substats. Go 4. Crit damage speed. HP percent flat. HP. Overall recommended Blade stats. HP. At least 5k HP is required. Reaching 6k or more will require you to superimpose your light cones and getting better substats of HP. Speed depends on your team with Blade. We will talk about this in Team Synergies. Crit rate, around 50% to 70%. Get 70% or more for Relics Arena buff. Crit damage, 140% or higher. Ascension Materials. Blade needs the following Ascension Materials. Immortal Cyanet from Assignment Rewards. Shattered Blade from Crimson Domain. Ascendant Debris from New Stangent Shadow. Regret of Infinite Okima from New Echo of War. Weekly Boss Fantilia.
Will never give up, nor yield to death.
That's what it means to be a gamer, bro. Team building for Blade. First, get off all preservation characters from your team. Blade needs to get his HP lowered to use his talent, so no Fire MC, March 7th, or Gepard. Blade eats HP, so yeah, healer is a must. The best healer is, of course, Lucha. Blade is not going to die with Lucha's auto-heal. If you don't have Lucha, Natasha is always there. You can also use Bailu, so if your Blade somehow managed to die, you can give him an extra life. Next in slot, you would be putting a buffer/harmony support character. Now again, supports like Asta and Ting Yun will provide ATK boost, so you can't do anything about it. Though Asta provides SPD, which is fine, and Ting Yun regenerates energy, but you aren't going to need Blade's ultimate that much. Instead, you have better option like Yukong or Bronya. Bronya is just amazing with her light cone. Blade uses skill point after his 3 turns, so Bronya will be the one using more skill points, and if you have her light cone, it's not going to be a problem because you will regenerate skill point by using her ultimate. Yukong, however, you need to do something about her. Here comes the Blade's speed stat part. Yukong always buffs the next 2 allies after her turn, so you need speed on her. So in this case, you can replace Blade's feat relic from speed to HP %, and just have enough speed from substats, so you can get benefit from Yukong's buff. Also, if you have Yukong Eidolons 6, you can use her ultimate right before Blades uses his talent follow-up attack. If you have Lucha in your team along with Yukong, you can also use Planetary Rensvu on Yukong. And Lucha will also get buffed because of same element type as Yukong. For the 4th slot, we can put a debuffer. Now, Nihility characters are going to use skill points, but we have Pella. Pella reduces DF of enemies by using her ultimate. Now, if you played the version 1.1 event, you should have before the tutorial mission starts Light Cone with Superimposition level 5. With this Light Cone, Pela will regenerate energy if she hits def-reduced enemies. Pella uses her ultimate like after 3 turns, while def reduction lasts for 2 turns. Pella can use basic attack on def-reduced enemies to regenerate energy for her ultimate. The only time you use Pella's skill is when you have to debuff enemy. But if you have Lucha in your team, well, I don't have to say anything here. Silverwolf is okay because she implants weakness, reduced damage resistance, and DF. But she is a 5-star, and many of you don't have her, plus she gonna use skill point more, which means auto battle is gonna be a problem. Welt can be used to reduce enemies' speed. When you have Yukong on your team, you can get buff for Welt through the light cone, but if you imprison the enemies, who will attack Blade then? So keep that in mind. How to play Blade. For a free-to-play player, a good team with action order would be Pella, Natasha, Yukong, Blade. You will attack enemy with Blade technique to enter battle. Pella will use basic attack, if no need to debuff with her skill, and her ultimate first, if it's charged. Nastasia will also use basic attack most of the time. Yukong will use her skill to provide buff for next character. Now for Blade, you will see that he already has some of his HP lowered and has 1 charge due to his technique. He will use his skill for first time, gains 1 more charge and more 30% HP depleted. One thing is that Blade will not gain energy from using his skill, but it also doesn't end the Blade's turn. Now, in enhanced state, every time you do enhanced basic attack, Blade gains 1 more charge as he loses 10% HP and gain energy for ultimate. Blade uses his basic attack most of time, so give it priority when leveling up his traces. As for his talent's follow-up attack, Blade does it when he gains 5 charges max. Since destruction characters have higher aggro than any path except preservation, I don't think you're going to have any problem getting hit. Note, Blade can't die while you lose HP doing basic attacks. Instead, his will get lowered to 1. Basic attacks in enhanced state do not produce nor consume skill points. So remember that. And I think that's it. I hope I didn't miss anything important and not provide misinformation, but this is how you build Blade for most part. Blade is really a strong character, but you're sure gonna have a hard time farming his relic set and even more on finding good stats and substats. But once you complete building him, he will be dishing out 40k damage on crits and even more in Simulated Universe, which is very, very nice. Anyway, that's it for a simple guide. There will be a Kafka guide coming soon, so subscribe if you don't want to miss it, and consider pressing that like button. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.